no place like the Q. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment.
And please, always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people.
Did anybody else need to hear that? Need to hear from her? I know I did. That was VP Kamala Harris speaking at the Emerge conference, which empowers women to run for office. And I can't imagine what it was like to be in that room, but when I listened to her speech, I had to pull this clip for us today. Please never forget, this country belongs to the people. We are the people. Family, do you have a local news story not getting enough amplification? A queer organization other folks should know about? Are you an artist and you got a song coming out? Send in a queer news tip. I love hearing about all the things going on in communities across this country that aren't getting enough amplification. Come here to Queer News to get it. Send in your queer news tips today. Info on how to submit is in the show notes. And family, I am blown away, okay? I don't know which rhymes or ways I can say thank you, but thank you to everyone who has responded to the call to support our World Pride coverage. In the last 2 weeks, your donations have totaled $670. $670 in just 2 weeks. Thank you, Susan, Rachel, Carolyn, Jay, Rex, and Lisa. Thank y'all so much for your support. I'm blown away. And that money is going to help cover our editor for World Pride. Yes, we celebrate that. We celebrate that. And QCrew, I can't thank you enough for your continued commitment to help sustain this podcast. Y'all helped to cover costs for Ryan, okay? Who I quite literally couldn't do this podcast without. And so if you're listening to this and you're not part of the QCrew or you haven't given to the World Pride coverage, but you believe in the work we do, you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, and you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew, okay? A link is in the show notes. Now for the news. In politics, trans service members get another win in the courts, and another Trump executive order looks to stop funding NPR and PBS. In culture and entertainment, Robert De Niro stands up for his trans daughter. The community mourns the loss of Jill Sobule. And Doechii keeps winning. Let's get into it. In politics, did you hear the news? Due to 2 more court wins where federal judges blocked the transgender service member ban, the Pentagon has to resume providing gender-affirming care to all members of the military. This is a win, okay, for our trans siblings currently serving in the military and for service members who have family members who depend on their insurance to receive gender-affirming care. In a memo signed by Acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Stephen Ferreira, he said, service members and all other covered beneficiaries 19 years of age or older may receive appropriate care for their diagnosis of, quote, gender dysphoria, including mental health care and counseling and newly initiated or ongoing cross-sex hormone therapy. Service members may also receive voice therapy and appropriate surgical procedures. There's lots of words in there I don't get down with, but I had to read y'all the quote as it was said, okay? But what this means is this is a win. And y'all, we are in a season where it's hard to see the wins, isn't it? These wins aren't blasted everywhere. Bad news travels faster than any good news. But let me tell you today, this is a win for the thousands of trans service members, for service members and their families, yes, who depend on gender-affirming care. Now, of course, the Trump-led Pentagon is appealing this decision. But until there is a decision in this case, our trans siblings and the beneficiaries of service members who need gender-affirming care, they're protected and they can continue to receive the health care they deserve. These judges in these seats are preserving democracy one ruling at a time. One ruling at a time. In more political news, late last Thursday, Trump signed an executive order to end public funding to NPR and PBS. I'm reporting on this because, family, at the end of the day, I'm a media professional. I'm a journalist. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe hate speech exists. And I believe that decentralizing media, having places like podcasts to receive your news, it is born out of the essence that is public broadcasting. Currently, NPR and PBS receive $500 million in taxpayer money for the public TV and radio stations they serve every single year. NPR called this move an affront to the First Amendment. And we all are very familiar with Trump's assaults on media outlets that do not support him. And this has been part of his political strategy from the very beginning. Republicans have claimed these outlets have liberal bias and that they should not be funded by taxpayers because it is written in this executive order that these outlets do not, quote, present a fair, accurate, or unbiased portrayal of current events. And let's be clear also that this latest move is so calculated, okay? And it continues to just be an all-out assault on media. Trump wrote on his Truth Social about NPR and PBS saying, Republicans must defund and totally disassociate themselves from NPR and PBS, the radical left monsters that so badly hurt our country. So that doesn't hurt our country? I just have to take so many deep breaths when reporting on situations like this, where I have to say his name so many times, okay? It takes a lot out of you, girl. Please know. Because there's nothing more decisive than telling people where they should get their news. Because why do you want them to get it from you? Because you get to control it? Family, I mean, when we talk about NPR and PBS, we're talking about Sesame Street. We're talking about All Things Considered. We're talking about PBS NewsHour. The CEO and president of PBS, Paula Kerger, said this: the president's blatantly unlawful executive order issued in the middle of the night threatens our ability to serve the American public with educational programming as we have for the past 50 plus years. We are currently exploring all options to allow PBS to continue to serve our member stations and all Americans. The president and CEO of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Patricia Harrison, said, CPB is not a federal executive agency subject to the president's authority. Congress directly authorized and funded CPB to be a private, nonprofit corporation wholly independent of the federal government. Also, if you didn't hear, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is actually suing Trump right now because of another executive order where he was trying to fire 3 of its 5 board members, and CPB is saying he don't even have the authority to do that. Family, the NPR president and CEO, Catherine Mayer, said, we will vigorously defend our right to provide essential news, information, and life-saving services to the American public. We will challenge this executive order using all means available. The appropriation for public broadcasting, including NPR and PBS, represents less than 0.0001% of the federal budget. The president's order is an affront to the First Amendment rights of NPR and locally owned and operated stations throughout America to produce and air programming that meets the needs of their communities. And I think the president and CEO of America's public television stations, Katie Riley, said one of the most important things that I read while researching this story, which was that more than 160 local TV stations across the country, particularly those in rural areas, PBS and NPR offer a lifeline in hundreds of communities where there is no other source of local media. And family, I want y'all to know, media deserts are so real. We talk about food deserts, but let me tell you about a media desert. They are devastating, and they are all across this country. If you look at a map of media deserts and then overlap that with the states that voted for Trump, it will all make more sense. These rural places in our country are missing local news outlets. They are missing fact-checked news outlets to counter any misinformation coming from either side. They have to rely on national news outlets, which we know are now owned, yes, and falling in line with the ways in which Trump wants them to report. And when the government owns the media and then has the power to silence it, we see another portion of our democracy fall with that. So if you want to do something in this moment, change.org has a petition up called Don't Cut Funding for PBS and NPR. Protect public broadcasting. There are already over 60,000 signatures, including mine. And I encourage you to put your name on the roll, okay? A link is in the show notes. I think this is a perfect time to take a quick break. And when we get back, let's jump into some culture and entertainment news. Hate is rising in Illinois, but you're not alone. Help Stop Hate is a confidential service that gives victims and witnesses the power to speak up. No judgment, just real help. When you report hate, you get support. Report hate to ilstophate.org or call 877-458-HATE, 877-458-4283. Help Illinois Stop Hate. Family, I need your help. Can you help me out? I'm excited because I've been tapped to attend World Pride in DC at the beginning of June. I'm going to moderate a couple of panels. I'm going to speak. We're going to table. We're going to network. They're estimating 2 to 3 million people to descend upon DC and celebrate Pride together. Now, we already know the state of our government today. Based where? In DC. So there is going to be so much to cover, but I need your financial support to make it all happen. I got to bring a team out there with me to make sure we don't miss a thing, but I can't do that without you. So if you've got a few dollars, please hit the button in the show notes and support our coverage of World Pride. If you don't have a few dollars, but maybe you've got a lead on a potential sponsor, please hit me up in the show notes. We would love to reach out to them. This is going to be a monumental moment in queer history, and we want to be there to cover it. Appreciate you.
Mental health coverage is just as important as physical health coverage. In Illinois, mental health parity laws ensure that your coverage for mental health conditions and substance use disorders is not more restrictive than your coverage for physical health conditions. If your health plan has unlimited doctor visits for a condition like hypertension, then it must offer unlimited visits for a condition like depression. Learn more at getcoveredillinois.gov.
Family, welcome back to the show. Now let's get into some culture and entertainment. I don't know what the big deal is. That is a quote from Robert De Niro as he talks about loving his daughter Erin, who has just come out as trans. When I read this quote, I was like, Robert De Niro just got so much respect from me, okay? He got much respect from me. He told People magazine in an interview that nothing has changed about his love for his daughter. He said, I loved and supported Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, as my son, and now I love and support Erin, A-I-R-Y-N, as my daughter. I don't know what the big deal is. I love all my children. Yeah, and Erin did an interview, and in that interview, she said she's just stepping into her new identity. She says, there's a difference between being visible and being seen. I've been visible. I don't think I've been seen yet. That right there is a whole word, okay? And Erin, I want you to know that we see you. Yes, and I think that your courage during these times especially is something quite brave. I want to tell you, family, courage is contagious, okay? In sad news, the queer community is mourning the loss of Jill Sobule. She is the singer and songwriter behind the lesbian anthem I Kissed a Girl and her next most popular hit, Supermodel. Her publicist and her manager shared that Jill, 66 years old, passed away in a house fire. She was staying there with friends in Minnesota ahead of a performance in her hometown of Denver. Now the venue in Denver will honor her memory with an informal gathering. Sarah Kate Ellis, GLAAD president and CEO, said Jill wasn't just a trailblazer in music, she was a beacon for queer artists. Long before it was safe or common, Jill was writing and singing about sexuality and identity with raw honesty and wit. At a time when doing so could have cost her everything, she chose truth. That courage helped pave the way for today's artists like Brandi Carlile, Tegan and Sara, Lil Nas X, Sam Smith, Adam Lambert, and so many others who now stand proud and open in their music. Other posts from celebrities like Margaret Cho on Instagram saying, "This is not real to me. I am in shock and cannot process this." Jill was a force in the music industry. She paved the way, and she's one of the people we can never forget. Jill, we speak your name today. And family, for our last story today, we will celebrate Doechii. She has done it. Alligator bites never heal after 8 months. Has cracked the Billboard top 10. This is so unheard of these days. Most often when an album drops, it hits as high as it will go in that first week, right? All the promo, all the marketing money, all the PR money is going out, okay? All the posts are happening. People are talking about it. Those first weeks, that's when it hits. But not in Doechii's case, okay? Not in Doechii's case, because she has shown us that there is another way. She jumped from number 24 to number 10. And this is the first time she has made the top 10 charts. They're saying the surge is probably from the recently released vinyl record, yes, and CD, of the album being made available. Come through with the physical sales to let the people know it'll take you from 24 to 10. Congratulations, Doechii, on continuing to do your thing out here, being just who you are. We need this type of inspiration. And now it's time for Anna's Got a Word, because Anna's always got a word. And today, honestly, I didn't write anything. I wanted to speak from my heart because I'm just grateful. In 2 weeks to have supporters send in $670 to enable us to go to World Pride more prepared. Yes, with a team to support the coverage. I just can't tell y'all how blessed I am because of your continued support. And I'm gearing up for a busy Pride season, and I'm grateful. I'm preparing myself for an overwhelmed inbox, okay? I'm grateful in advance. In the moments in which I begin to feel overwhelmed, I am replacing overwhelmed with gratitude, truly. I am pacing myself. I am resting. I am doing what I can. I am prioritizing. And I am just looking to live my best life. I can't tell y'all how life has been lifing in my world. But let me tell you this. Nobody knows the date or the time or the hour or the minute. And I just want to use all my time doing exactly what I'm called to do. And you all help me do that. Truly. So I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And I hope you are finding ways to do the same. I love y'all. For real, for real. Till next week. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.